Well, thanks for stopping by. What I've got today is a little experiment on doing heads for 28mm ancient miniatures. So I've done painted a fair few miniatures over the last 5 years or so, and I've tried a number of different methods for the heads with various amounts of sort of effort and lots of different contrast paints, lots of different skin tones, and I've felt like they're pretty good, but they're not fantastic. I always look at it, pictures of other people's stuff online, and always think, gee, some of these faces that people do are absolutely superb. But the catch is, I don't want to spend 15-20 minutes per miniature doing a face. So what I'm looking for is a simple technique, quick, simple, that gives the best results possible. So I'm going to do a little bit of scientific experiment here, and I'm going to give a whole lot of heads just a simple wash and see which one we reckon is the best. So here we go. I've prepared 11 barbarian heads, all fairly similar, so we get a little bit of consistency, and all Victrix plastic ones to begin with. Don't worry about the guys at the back. We're just going to do these front 11 first. So I've spray painted them initially for consistency with this Barbarian Flash Army Painter spray can, which I don't use very much, but it's quite a nice sort of fairly neutral Caucasian flesh colour. So they're the heads. So what are we going to paint on them? So I've got quite a range of different things. So I might start with my sort of all-time go-to favourite flesh wash. This is from Reaper Master Series paints, just called Flesh Wash, and for bodies that's definitely my favourite. Not totally sure about heads. I'm going to try the old Citadel Reichland Flesh Shade, and then a few other Citadel ones. So we've got this shade Carroburg Crimson, so that'll be a little bit more on the reddy side, but we'll give that a burl. Targor Rage Shade, they've got such silly names, these ones. Anyway, Army Painter Speed Paint number 2.0 series, and this is Peachy Flesh. And then I'm going to use a whole lot of quick washes from Army Painter, which are fantastic for a variety of different shading purposes. So we've got the dark tone, we've got the mid tone, we've got the light tone, we've got the soft tone and the strong tone, that should be up there, and then the flesh wash, which I use for bronze more than I do for flesh, but I'm going to give that a go as well. So what's that? 11, bingo, perfect. Okay, so I'm going to do that, and then what I'm going to do to make it a bit more sort of scientific and give you guys the most objective impression is I'm going to mix them around a bit. I'll keep a code as to which paint goes on which head, and I will reveal that after we've had a look through at them, so you can sort of make an objective choice as to which you think is the best. And then I'm going to go on and probably paint the rest of their heads and just tidy them up a bit and come back, and we'll see what they look like then. So anyway, I will get to work and back in a moment. Here we are. So I did give all the bottles a good shake for 30 seconds, and I used the same brush, but I made sure I washed it thoroughly between applications. So number one, it's interesting, certainly brings out the definitions, but it's too dark for my liking. Number two, a bit too red. It certainly does bring out the definitions quite well, though. If you wanted a face that was a bit red from, straining or a very cold day or something, it might work for that. Three, doesn't do much for me. Number four, I like. It's got a reasonably good mixture of showing the details quite well, but not being overly dark. 5, a little bit sort of on the pasty side to the face. 6 doesn't do much at all. 7, it's okay. I don't like it quite as much as 4. It doesn't bring out the details so much. 8 again is a sort of a bit of a too much dark browny grey colour to the skin. 9 doesn't seem to do a hell of a lot, maybe a little bit overly orange. 10, probably a bit too dark yet again. And 11, yeah, reasonable. So the ones I kind of, well, depends what you like, but my impression, 11's reasonable. 4 probably the best one, and I don't mind that number 2 with the red face. So I'm going to go paint all their hair, and I'll keep it consistent again, and probably do their eyes as well, and just see where that sort of changes the impression of each of them. So back soon again. All right, stage 3. So you'll see I've blocked in the hair, including the eyebrows and moustaches, done the lower lip, and done the eyes. And the surprising thing for me, they all look quite good now. It does make it a reasonably hard choice to distinguish which is which. The ones that previously looked really dark don't look so bad now. The ones that didn't have so much definition now seem to have a bit more. So I'll just let you have a little look at them. See what you think, which ones you like the best. I've got a few that I still feel are slightly better than the others. I'll come back in a moment and we'll go through each one, and I'll reveal which shade or wash was used for each of the individual guys. Okay, let's go through them and I'll reveal which is which. So number 1 was the one that I thought was a little bit on the dark side. This is the Dark Tone by Army Painter Quick Shades. Number 2 is the Karaborg Crimson. That is the Citadel, very light purpley crimsony wash. Looks good. I do like the red, but probably not all that versatile, but for occasional use I think that's going to go well. Number 3, I use the MSP, it's the Master Series Paint Flesh Wash, and as I said, I like that for legs and arms and so on, but not so brilliant for face. 4, Army Painter Quick Shade Mid Brown. So he looks okay to me. Quite like that one. Quite a nice variety of tones there. Brings out the features well. Number 5, another Army Painter Quick Shade. This is the soft tone this time, and probably is a little bit soft. Doesn't really have as much colour definition as I'd like. Number 6, we're going to go to the Reichland Flesh Shade now by Citadel. Again, just a little bit on the subtle side. I did a bit of a wound on his cheek just to add a bit of interest, but yeah, not quite up there for mine. Excuse the dog. Number 7, Light Tone Army Painter Quick Shade. Again, same story really, just not quite enough difference in colour tones. Number 8, Strong Tone Army Painter Quick Shade. Looks good, I think. I'm happy with it, but again, maybe just a little bit on the dark side. Army Painter, number 9, Army Painter Speed Paint 2.0 Peachy Flash, this one, and as it looked previously, a bit on the orange side and probably not as much definition as you'd like. I think it's designed to paint over a paler base coat rather than that existing skin tone, so it may look better if you use it that way, but not up there for me. Targor Rage Shade, that's a slightly grey, very dilute wash from Citadel, and again it just doesn't look terribly flash with this method. Number 11, one of my favourites, that is the plain old Flesh Wash from Army Painter Quick Shade, so that's gone really nicely. So I like that one of the best. Number 4 I've liked, that's the Mid Brown Army Painter Quick Shade. And I do quite like number 2 again, the Karaborg Crimson, although so the red pinky face is a bit odd, but would be useful in certain situations. So I'm going to go through a few other little bonus ones now, and mixed a few paints and used a few others just to show you what I think of them. Right, so a little bit of variety here. I've done a few extra shades and washes, and then a few where I've mixed together ones that I've quite liked. So number 12, this is a Numidian Victrix guy. He's got the mid-brown Army Painter Quick Shade again, probably a little bit light for him in this case. The next one, 13, I've used, that's a New Line Design Metalhead. I've used the purple tone from the Army Painter Quick Shade, just to get a little impression of that. I think it is too purple. It's a little bit on the kind of grim side. Maybe if it's a detached head, a dead person, beheaded might be useful. Number 14, going back to the Flesh Wash Army Painter Quick Shade, just using on a metal head. That's an Aventine one. Pretty good. Not a lot of skin on show there, so a little bit hard to judge. So I did then another one, also number 14, Army Painter Quick Shade. That's a War Games Atlantic Persian head. That goes quite well. That's the Flesh Wash Army Painter Quick Shade. 15, got a Dacian from Victrix, and he's got a mixture now of Army Painter Quick Shade, Mid Brown and Flesh Wash 50/50, and I quite like how he's turned out. So just quite a nice, relatively subtle amount of shading around the features of the face. 16, I've mixed now the Army Painter Quick Shade Mid Brown with the Karaborg Crimson in a 50/50 ratio. Again, ending up probably a bit too on the sort of slightly purple side, but not bad. That one, and then the lucky last is this Roman by Agema, and that's the Army Painter Quick Shade purple mixed with the Army Painter Quick Shade Mid Brown in a 50/50 mix. So again, not a lot of skin to look at there, but I do like it. Looks quite good. Goes quite well. So they're just a few extras. So I've sort of going to go away and stare at a few barbarian heads, and then try to come up with my top 3, bronze, silver and gold, as to which ones I think are the best. So stick around, I'll be right back. Alright, I've spent a little bit of time, probably too much time, staring at some tiny barbarian faces, trying to work out who's the best. So I'm going to give this one honourable mention, just outside the medal places. Number 2, that's the Karaborg Crimson by Citadel. Nice, and if you want a red face, that would be an excellent option. So the medal placings now, let's start with the 3rd place getter. The bronze medal goes to number 11. That's the straight up Army Painter Quick Shade Flesh Wash. Well done, Army Painter Flesh Wash. Simple, straight on, looks excellent. Nice definition and contrast there. 3rd place, Army Painter Quick Shade Flesh Wash. Number 14, I like 2nd best. Now I'll just refer to my notes again. So that's the Flesh Wash again. I didn't realise that. Okay, so I'm definitely a fan of the Flesh Wash. There you go. Shows the objectivity here. I wasn't even aware what I was voting for. So 1st and 2nd, or sorry, 2nd and 3rd place go to Army Painter Quick Shade Flesh Wash. Number 15 is my gold medalist, and again Flesh Wash gets a mention. This is the mix of the Mid Brown Army Painter Quick Shade and the Flesh Wash 50/50. So it just makes it a little, maybe a little dark, a little bit less shiny. Still maintains excellent definition without overdoing it. So that to me is the best mixture of all these. And that was the conclusion of this experiment, although I've got to say that it's not a very strong conclusion, because all of them looked pretty good. And this one doesn't look dramatically better than all the rest. I think it still needs a little bit of work to really make it great. Just some extra highlights on the nose and the cheeks and so on to bring it up to a really good standard. But certainly for quick and easy and fairly good standard, that is a good way to go. Once again, Army Painter Quick Shade 50% Mid Brown and 50% Flesh Wash. If you've got any other tips and tricks to make good faces very quickly, please let us know. Stick around, subscribe and so on, because as ever, more videos in the pipeline. Catch you then.